Hi YouTube, how are you? I'm doing so great today. I got all my work done, my exercises, everything. I'm ready for another Lady Babylon tonight. I'm going to talk to you all a little bit about my experiences in the Lutheran Church, and this will include the Catholic Church and they're affiliated Masonic connections and everything with both these churches and what it was like. And okay, so um, most of my experiences were of premonitions within the church. So it wasn't actually like when I'd be studying or I told you about in the pastor's office reading that library with books made out of skin. Yes, this is true. They're oracles, big white books with gold letters on them embossed. I mean, these were ancient books. Then later in my life, being taught by the Masons. But for me, as an individual, I would go to Sunday school and then I would go to they had two church services. So I'd catch like the second one. And so sometimes I spent at least 2 or 3 hours in that church, at least one day a week, if not more. Okay, so I'd be sitting in there, the pastor or whoever would be giving the sermon, and I'd either be reading along or I'd be like meditating. But I always had these premonitions of two weird things. First, the name Jesus never sat right with me. I always address God as God, period. I don't care who they call God in what country. I'm talking about the almighty creator of everybody, not these underlings that think they're somebody, you know. So I don't care beyond that. Who wants to threaten me and try and threaten my future? You have no hold on me. I belong to God, period. So I would get these premonitions of stories about things like John baptizing Jesus and different things that seemed weird to me, and it didn't seem like the actual story. And I'd have the actual story playing out in my mind that I knew was a vision and a gift from God. These visions I have gotten mostly in the past, like I told you, not just my childhood, but I actually asked for certain things to be kind of set aside from me even seeing a lot of stuff um for different reasons. Not that I, you know, wouldn't want to know, but there's different responsibilities that come with seeing things that I only needed when the only guidance I had was God, so I knew it wasn't some demonic entity in that respect that was trying to mislead me, because this is the energy that had always kept me safe. If, say, like my dad was drunk and gonna beat up my brother, this energy, my drive, my strength for um righteousness, and then I go out and jeopardize myself to save my brother or my mother or whoever. This is that energy that has made me the protector I am today. It's my guidance that I've always had. So these stories that I'm hearing, even when I would read them, I'd see the reality even before I started deciphering what this actually was with the languages and the texts that had been added to or taken out, like reading the Book of Thomas or Mary, or there's still, those are not complete, but you're going to get a lot more complete in original documents than you are ones that have been messed with, you know. So I just wanted some people that are getting to know me to understand this is not new to me. The only thing I've ever had is the truth within my heart. I, it's an ongoing, it's something Doug knows about me. This is an ongoing connection I have, a lifelong connection that if people don't live up to that standard, um, they're basically put on a hit list, and it's not my problem. It's their problem for encountering that energy or trying to control that energy through me, you know. Um, I have more to say about that. I'll light a cigarette and think about it. If you knew what it felt like, yeah, talk about archaics. Archaics talks about dungeon programming. Do you ever, and this church, the church I was a part of had like steeple bells and um, really ornate, uh, ancient stained glass. I mean, and its block work, all of it was really castle-like and seemed like a dungeon a lot of the times. It was pretty spectacular. I mean, there was a balcony and which I like to sit when I was a teenager. I liked to sit up there a lot. I'd eat sunflower seeds and listen to the sermon, you know. But anyway, I would get these premonitions in church, especially about the truths of things, and they weren't so pretty, and I would have major nightmares over things that my soul has seen that, like I say, and it would play in my head like movies. It still does, but not as bad as it used to. It's a flooding of feelings for people in the world. It's a connection that I think most of us should actually have. If you did have that, the world really would be a better place. People say they are one, but they act so separated that that's just one big lie. You know, that's just the way that they're cold as hell. I know I have, excuse me, made some friends that have the right to swear. Yeah, you actually have that right, and maybe don't even take it. But yeah, the anger is real. It's something, um, not everybody has a right to that either. That's why I'm sick of these little twerps that pretend that their life is so difficult. When they don't give their energy to other people, they take. If you go onto a channel and it leaves you feeling lower, and you're carrying the world on your shoulders, but yet you encounter this energy that wants to devour because it thinks it has that right. It's like, wow, that's about as wrong as it gets right there, especially if people are pretending they're Christ. You know, when you carry the Christ spirit, you don't leave people empty. Even at my most angriest on here, I'm going to tell you I love you and I mean it with all my heart. I'm not going to leave people hanging like a piece of shit out there for my own sake. I don't do that to people. I never will. I never have, you know. So I've had to distance myself from people that they can pretend they're distancing from me, but they're the cause of my anger. So I have to disassociate with a simple mind that has a cold heart that doesn't connect with people. So, yeah. And that is personality trait, not that's psychotic. The pain inflicting on other people. That's what the churches are. That lower vibrational, whether you're communing with other people or not, you're communing with a history of people that are in the business of trafficking humans. And that is what that monetized system is all about. There's records kept on all of this too, you know. My heritage, your heritage, all of us. There's not one of us on this planet, unless you're born under a rock, almost practically, that is not named and numbered, you know? Mm. So here's something I was telling you about insurance I got through the state. These bastards wanted to try and go in my personal money and take money out for medical insurance that I never signed my name to want. You know, I'm thinking, wow, we could do probably in my state a class action lawsuit for retirees that get this paperwork that say you owe them for insurance that you never signed up for. I was terminated before they made me sign a termination paper, but my name is actually spelt wrong on the paperwork that they sent me to begin with. It's all boogered up, and I know my laws. I read all my state laws and substatutes and everything when I took my contractor's license in this state. So and then I have won a couple of my own court cases. Um, there's some ways justice works. There's other ways it really doesn't, but you do have to have some sort of knowledge about our laws and the Constitution and our Bill of Rights, going into any court case for any reason. There's times when I was younger, it didn't always go the best for me, and it could have went better if I had had more knowledge, if I had had more means, knowledge to prove um, my either that I didn't deserve to have any charges of any sort against me, you know. So, what do you do when a state actually traffics you as a baby and you're injured? I had a herniated umbilical cord as a newborn, is what they said when they took me back 2 weeks later and then sold me again. My birth mother told me I was born perfectly healthy, and no, my umbilical cord was not herniated. And how do little children get scar tissue inside them? You know, yeah. And what? I don't have a right to fucking hate the state or say anything about it? And I rate my state legislator about the little kids that are being sold into other countries. They're citizens of the United States that are being adopted out to same sex couples with the same-sex child. That's disturbing. Even if it was a little girl, it's all, and I know it is that too. Then the Hague Group, the corporation that heads all these adoptions in our country, and many other countries, are dealing with children in our country and aren't even a part of the United States. And they're dealing with our little citizens. And I have never heard a word back from my government after I tried to defend them little kids. Not one word. So, and I wrote my state legislator. And when Mark Dayton was a part of Minnesota, our governor, even I knew him before that personally as kids, but and other public officials I've written, and I got an answer back, a personal answer from these people. Not anymore. Cheers, everybody. So I've been really um, aware of the grooming that is done within the religions. I have been aware of this since I was a child. This is not new to me at all. None of it. Even the stories that I know Dr. Alman Hillman knows these firsthand, and it's not a shock to me. It's shocking, but it's not a shock to me. These are my own personal nightmares that are, I mean, these are my premonitions of what had been in the past that I never could prove, documented in the scriptures. That's pretty cool. That's a loving God. But they did try to hide it, you know. They weren't successful. And we're going to put this out there for everybody to see. This is the dark energy you feel from religions. That's the dark energy. You're coming together as people in congregations and churches and wanting to spread love. Most people, although you can be controlled pretty easily, but most people aren't cruel. But those that head up those churches, they certainly are. They're dark, dark entities, you know. I almost played David Bowie's song last night, Let's Dance, like the popes with their skin red, blood dyed shoes. Let's put on our red shoes and dance the blues. And the music is playing on the radio, you know. That is a good song for me because this is exactly how that spirit, the our Father, the only one that's ever cared for me, is in that song. It says, when you say run, I'll run, and when you say hide, I'll hide, um, because my love for you would break my heart into if you should, or no, if oh, I should play it. It's something. If I lost that love, but oh, anyway, or fall into my arms and crumble like a flower. You know, I'll put it in here so you can, you know, I get excited. I could probably just sing it if I started singing it, but and I'm kind of in a singing mood, but not really. Sorta. you know, I will be if I play that tune. As a matter of fact, I'll put it in here so you can hear the lyrics. But there's certain songs, and people think that maybe somebody was like, oh, bisexual or demonic or driven like this or that, that I see the Spirit of God coming through in ways and made them songs between God and I. I don't know how many people do that. Maybe you do. I don't know. But I see the male muse along with the female. I see the good with the bad, and there's I can be I can be not persuaded, but led by God's Spirit in some odd ways. And I know other people have that too, but going back to somebody that said they were a friend of mine, but would maybe mention my name, but not actually even call me friend, not even wish me a happy birthday for 7 years. And being one that people never cared about her birthday from the start. It's like, you don't have a birthday. Everybody else does, but you don't. You know, there's only one other person, one other that has that feeling like I do, like that. And I know that's true. I recognize that energy in a heartbeat. So when other people try and pretend they are of that, you could be a bit of that. Yeah. And everybody is on their own level. But if you're helping child traffickers, you don't have a level. And that's when I cut people off. It's like, okay, if you're going to go dark and get dark on me because of my anger, when somebody's stupid and I say enough's fuck enough with your lies, then that's enough. People act like they're protecting me. I live with Satan. Do you think I need protection from you? I had to hunt him down so he'd stop hurting my children. That's what I'm doing here. And he knows it. I never lie. I don't hide from anybody at any time. That's just not me. So just understand that. Did I get dirty jumping in the pig pen? Somebody's got to do the work, don't they? And yes, people that are demonic do smell bad. I've got a total separation from decades. I don't even joke about that. That's not a joke. I've been injured internally and have kept myself alive. If I work up a sweat, I'm going to smell bad, but I don't smell like that, you know? So, yes, I had to physically infiltrate the dark cabal to get my God-given magic in their system with my body. And I'm fully aware of what I had to do. You want to talk about suffering? You don't have a clue of that pain. Not one clue. Being treated like a whore when you have the purest heart on the planet. Want to try that on? Yeah. Try it. First stop acting like a slut and then try it on for size. I'm not talking if you're a single person. You have every right on God's green earth to do whatever you please. But there has never been a man on this planet that doesn't know and hasn't known that God owns me, body and soul, period. And if they couldn't live up to even being part of a fucking human, they certainly weren't going to win any part of my heart like that or gather any respect. And there's not anybody I've ever met that doesn't know that of me. So, just for the record, you know. In that respect, I enjoy being intimidated because people cannot stand in front of me and be smudgy and feel good about it. Yeah, I love to watch them squirm. It's enjoyable. I do not engage in orgies, mental or physical. And that's what I call misplaced sexuality that people have been conditioned into, that I've been fighting against all my life. Like I say, even in the church, when you get looked up and down by people that should be protecting you and stuff, you're aware of it. You know what's going on. Where do you go? Where do you go? You know, if the people in the world that are supposed to be keeping you safe are conditioning you and your young ones to be submissive to the system, their money making schemes, no matter where it is or how they do it. This is just one. It just is the worst one. But there's all sorts of ways they do it out on this planet, you know. So I just wanted to explain a little bit of that. I know people think, well, okay, yes, I'm not fluent in Greek, and I don't know if I ever will be, but I'm not committed to it like I want to be maybe next year. It just, I don't need that to understand my life, you know? I'm fully aware of what I've been through and what my loved ones have been through, including the true Christ, not one that can't remember. I know the one that actually is a doctor and is interested in the medical field and actually knows um, the difference between a good bacterium and a bad one, you know, and how they work within our bodies. See, that's some electrical shit right there. The mechanics of it all. Uh, and people without that, they're not Christ-like because they don't have the full scope of the science behind it, and they don't have the first clue on how to broach that subject or talk about it because it's not there. It's they're part of the dark cabal, not the ones that are actually healing people from the inside out with that knowledge, but the ones that are putting that lower vibration and actually harming you. If you listen to the wrong person and it's hurting your heart, that's a physical attack, emotionally, physically. So I'm guarding myself from that feeling, and I have gathered some people. I hope they know I am their friend and that they can befriend me and without fear of me hurting them. Because if I do hurt people, tell me about it. And if I can remedy that to make us whole as friends, I will remedy that. if there is something, a barrier, like whatever it is, that people have disagreements with and are so far apart they can't really have that closeness. That's cool. People will seek their, just like water, will seek our own level, you know. So I don't want to be anywhere that I'm not appreciated and respected for the strength I have and the hard work I've put in my life for everybody. That's a reality. That's my reality. I enjoy the fact that other people have the fortitude in their lives to start doing this young like I did too for everybody else. That they're my heroes. They're the ones that actually shine, you know. So it is possible to fall in love with somebody's mind, especially if it's guided out of love and respect and kindness, you know. Yeah, that's easy. It's difficult for me to look at a smiling face and think, okay, you're pretty or you're pretty cute or whatever, and then they say or do something. It's not bad like one or two times, but then when it gets there, and it's always there and it leaves you in that cold vibe, it's like, okay, this is inhuman. I don't do that. And I know for me, I set precedents on what is absolutely normal. And when I get that cold vibe, yeah, I'm going to get angry. And that is a natural reaction. Don't let anybody put you down for your just anger. Don't, don't. I'm not saying you have to rage. Or if you do, who cares? Words are not going to kill anybody, you know? Bad thoughts, well, you don't want people thinking bad about you, you know? Unless they're unjustly thinking that. Then there's spirit that is the great equalizer that will, there's people that totally disrespect me that are going to have a great awakening to their misplacement and misjudgment and misguidance. It's like, yeah, I can see who's guiding your dumbass because you'll always be illiterate like that. You'll never gather those words from the deep because your moron that leads you is not an actual Christ. He's an imposter. And that's who's leading the churches. Imposter Christ. So, and there's proof coming up. I have proof daily. I share links with what I'm talking about. And join us over on Lady Babylon again tonight, you know. Oh, by the way, there's people that think that Satan is a woman. I still think it's a male spirit that has a feminine counterpart that like a woman that may want to even take the life of her own child. That is not a category that an actual pure female could ever possess. No, that's not a mother. That's not a female. I know that for a fact. I'm not saying that a woman couldn't possess that feeling, say like if something happened to her child, but no. That's the darkest part of my father that will avenge all the people that are using my energy and treating me like a whore that are going to get their own for stealing what wasn't theirs, that belongs to God. And it'll all work. It'll all come out in the wash. It's all in the plans. So, all right, everybody. I appreciate you joining me. I hope you have a wonderful night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Join us on Lady Babylon for some truth if you can handle it. Unless you want to call me a liar, that'd be a lot of fun. Later.